2 checks were brought in and they weren't good, and then another check was brought in, and then which again wasn't good either. They contacted the lender, and the lender has no record of that check ever being cashed or being created, any knowledge of it whatsoever. So that's all we have an issue here when it comes to the checks. So what's going on with the checks?
Okay.
Are you ever arrested before?
Huh?
You ever arrested?
I turned myself in one time before.
For what?
In Port Charlotte.
They're gonna tell me.
Yeah, of course. No, it's it's an insurance fraud. And it was a job that we did in Port Charlotte. It's currently outstanding.
A Florida car dealership, 3 checks, $9,500 down payment. The bank that issued them had no record any of those checks existed. On May 6th, 2025 officers responded to a dealership where a buyer and her partner had come to complete a vehicle purchase over a month in the making. What they didn't know was what the next 30 minutes would produce. Check fraud. In plain terms, presenting a check you know cannot be honored. 2 checks were printed from QuickBooks, a business accounting platform, and submitted as payment. Both failed to clear. A 3rd check was obtained at a bank branch the same day. First Horizon told officers that one was never submitted for processing at all. In Florida, that is not a billing dispute. Under Florida Statute 832.05, presenting a worthless instrument with knowledge of insufficient funds is a 3rd-degree felony, up to 5 years per count.
Are you, the black Tesla out front? Are you guys? Is that your ride?
Yeah.
That's your ride?
Yeah.
Class 610 it's the ride.
All right. So what's going on today? You guys are trying to purchase something? Yeah. Okay. So what are you guys trying to purchase?
What? I already purchased something.
Okay. So what exactly is happening with the contract?
I guess there's a problem. I guess there's a problem with the check. So I'm just gonna be very straight up, and honesty goes a long way. The check's bad. So what's the deal with checks and going on and stuff like that?
What do you mean?
The checks used to purchase said vehicle are bad, and there's another check brought in that is also bad. Do you have the check?
To purchase this vehicle?
Yeah, that comes from my account.
Okay, can you see it?
Do you have the check?
Do me a favor, just go ahead and have a seat as well. Do you have, and it's in First Horizon, so who is, what is First Horizon to you guys?
That is our bank.
Right.
Alright. And who's the account holder for it?
Joseph is the account holder for that account.
That's you? Yeah. That's your ID, please?
You bring the ID.
Okay, so in order to sign paper, you're going to need some type of ID.
We already signed the paper. We already did this. The bank already.
About 6 times.
It's already done. Like we're only collecting another payment.
Everything that's been done, do you have all the papers and stuff? Let me see.
Where's Colton? So I can speak to. Oh, perfect. All right.
And then for you also.
Okay, good. So I was the officer you spoke to earlier. So.
Oh, perfect.
Regarding everything, okay. So from our conversation, basically everything went through, but now it's just waiting on. This is like a down payment for the complete payment of the car.
Yeah, so the initial down payment, which is $9,500, they've given us already 2 bad checks.
Okay.
If they have any of this, they need a statement from whoever was involved around it. If I'm totally down, we're not going to ask any questions unless we Miranda.
Okay.
So I'm going to do it that way. It's going to be a 52.
They've already wrote me 2 bad checks, and now they brought me a 3rd check, which we can't verify as well. So all these checks, I called their lender today to see if they can verify that check. She says they have no indication of that check, that it's basically fraudulent.
Okay.
So we also ran her records, of course, and we noticed that she had a prior to this type of stuff.
Oh, so this is over the down payment of the actual.
Yeah. So the actual contract itself, I mean, it's a fundable contract. We have a real approval with the bank.
It's a consistent down payment.
The whole initial down payment.
In order for make the deal to be complete.
Correct. $9,500, which we've already tried them to get multiple. I said, can you just bring me cash? And I can't do that. It's got to be a cashier's check. And I said, a cashier's check is cash. Just go to your bank and pull the money out. She goes, oh, they won't let me do that. I have to wait 24 hours.
And this is all within today?
Today. Okay. Literally, yeah, within today.
Okay.
So when you told me you cleared the check.
I called, but it was already late. I told you that.
I know, but you told me you guys were good. I mean, you told me we needed to sign something. I mean,
we're running through our system, and they told me I was good. I'm like, you're good to go.
So what are we doing?
My job is just a messenger. I don't know anything about this.
okay.
See, all right, so before I ask you any questions, I'm just going to read your rights, okay? So, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions and to have counsel present during the interview. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you before any questioning. If you wish, if you decide to answer questions without a lawyer present, you will still have the right to stop answering at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you ask for a lawyer, okay? Okay, do you understand each of these rights that I've explained to you?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had previously requested for any law enforcement officer to allow you to speak to an attorney? Have you previously asked any law enforcement officials to speak to an attorney before anything? Okay. With these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to me?
Sure.
Okay.
Before asking a single question, the officer read Miranda in full, all 4 advisements in sequence. He confirmed she understood each one. Her answer when asked if she wanted to talk was yes. She waived her rights, and then she started talking for nearly 30 minutes, with an active outstanding fraud matter already pending in Charlotte County. Her account was detailed. The dealership had told her funds would clear. A salesperson drove her to the bank. She came back voluntarily to resolve the issue. Every explanation pointed toward good faith. Then the officer asked one question. The check was written prior to funds being available. She said, correct. The first check, yes. That is the knowledge element. That is the element Florida Statute 832.05 requires for a criminal charge, not a civil one. She delivered it herself on camera after waiving Miranda. The defense argument centers on good faith reliance. She said the bank told her pending deposits would cover the check within 24 to 48 hours. Under Florida law, that argument requires the check to have been submitted for processing. First Horizon told officers the third check was never attempted. That directly contradicts her account. She also disclosed unprompted a prior outstanding insurance fraud matter in Port Charlotte. She volunteered a prior fraud history during an active fraud investigation without an attorney present. That information is now part of the record. A second charge may apply. Florida Statute 831.02 forgery covers instruments that are fabricated or materially false. QuickBooks-printed draft checks drawn on an account with no corresponding funds unverifiable by the issuing bank may meet that standard. If so, a separate third-degree felony attaches. The Florida Communications Fraud Act Section 817.034 may also apply if the scheme is framed as a coordinated course of conduct exceeding $20,000. The vehicle financing through American Credit Acceptance exceeded that threshold. If prosecutors connect the down payment fraud to the broader financing sentencing exposure, increases substantially. Probable cause here is governed by the totality of circumstances standard from Illinois versus Gates. 3 unverifiable checks. A bank with no record of their creation. A prior outstanding fraud matter. No single factor is required to be conclusive. The combination is legally sufficient to support an arrest.
So, the reason why we're here is because there's a deal with going on with a car, from my knowledge, okay? And then with said knowledge of the vehicle, there was, for a down payment of $9,500, I guess 2 checks were brought in and they weren't good. And then another check was brought in and then which again wasn't good either. They contacted the lender and the lender has no record of that check ever being cashed or being created, any knowledge of it whatsoever. So that's all we have an issue here when it comes to the checks. So what's going on with the checks?
Okay, so we've been trying to buy this car for probably about a month and a half, right?
Okay.
3 weeks after they were trying to get approval. 3 weeks after they called me like, hey, we're good to go. You guys can come and you'll have the deal, whatever. You guys can move forward with picking up the car.
Okay.
Sure, no problem. Originally it was a $7,000 down payment. We come here. Then they're like, oh, the down payment is going to be $9,500 or something like that because we're going to waive something, yada, yada. That was about 2 weeks ago or something like that. I asked them, how can I make the payment, for the down payment? I said, I can bring you a business check, what can I make it? And then I even asked, I said, this was on a Friday or Saturday or something like that, so the bank was closed. So, bring the check. And they call me on Wednesday. and they say that the check returned, the funds weren't available or something like that. So I go back,
So when were you notified of that?
That was, mind if I grab my phone?
If you,
To the best of your knowledge.
to the best of your knowledge. So the first time the check didn't go through, what day was that?
Thursday of last week or something like
Last
that.
Thursday? Okay.
Yeah. So then that's when the check didn't go through. And so then I came in. They asked me to give them. Oh no. I was here. So with the whole situation that it was 2 checks and stuff like that, I had given them the wrong check, the original check for the original deal before they had asked me to go to get the that the increase of the down payment was from 7,000. So I had originally given them, when we were here, we had 2 checks, the one for 7,000 and the one for 95. I had given him the wrong check, so I came back and I brought him the correct check with the original down payment amount of 95.
Okay, and that was on Thursday.
That was on Thursday.
So you brought 2 checks.
Yeah. So
And what was the lender for the checks? What was the bank used for the checks?
First Horizon. That's
First
our,
Horizon.
our bank. This is the same bank that our account with First Horizon.
Checks.
So, not a problem. He calls me today. Well, he calls Joe today, and Joe texts me and says, emergency, Arrigo called. I said, okay, no problem. So I called
Who's Joe?
The gentleman that's right next to me.
Who's he?
He is my partner, my son's dad.
Okay.
So, his name is who the account.
Is it like a
It's his account.
Oh, it's his account. So it's a loan that's going to him.
No. So the vehicle is for both of us. We both signed for the vehicle.
Oh, you're co-signers.
Yeah, we both signed for the vehicle, but the bank where the funds are coming from is his bank. It's his main account. That's the account where the check is written out of. So he calls me, tells him that Mayor called him and told him that there was an issue with the check.
Yeah.
I come here immediately to try to address it, to try to figure out what's going on. I call the bank. The bank obviously tells me, that the payment returned or whatever not, that they can put a stop payment to the check or something like that, and that they can, and then the funds would be back in my account the next day. Within 24 to 48 hours, they could, because when you get like a printed draft, they take the funds out to put them into the check or something like that. I'm not sure. So I came here with them and I said, listen, what do you want me to do? I said, do you want me to go to the bank and get you another check from the bank, or do you want me to give you, give you the funds that I have on another account and then come in the morning with the remaining balance? And then he was the one that said, no, I'll send you to the bank with your, I'll send you to the bank with somebody. So one of his salesperson took me to the bank, went to the bank, came back, and that's the check that I gave him. And then he was just telling me like he already called and he cleared, everything was good, not a problem. Have Joe come because we have to re-sign the buyer's order, and that's it. And then you guys walked in when we were about to do that.
Okay.
They haven't, the last check that I brought him, they don't know if it cleared or not, anything, because he told me that he had called to verify and that, on his end it was fine, but he still had to take it to the bank and try to get it cashed and whatever not.
So as of right now, you have tried to clear 2 checks with this company?
As of right now, I have, 1 check in the return, so I gave him, this is the check that returned, says the funds weren't available, and this is the...
And that check was that was the check for $9,500?
Yeah, it's only 1 check for $9,500. That is the deposit. That is the down payment. And so then the other thing is, that was the down payment. The company that I guess financed the vehicle, which was American Credit Acceptance, I called them this morning to find out if they already paid them and they issued funding, and they told me that they had. The only thing that they were missing from them was some paperwork, but that it was already in funding, and so that they received the additional difference of the funds, which was the $20,000 and some change.
Okay.
So, I had no idea. I gave them the option of, what do you want me to do? They even took me themselves to the bank. He was like, oh, don't take your Uber, we'll drive you there or something like that. And he had one of the gentlemen drive me to the bank.
Okay.
And what did you do at the bank?
Huh?
What did you do at the bank?
Check.
Okay. Which check did you get?
The one that I gave him, that he told me that he hasn't cashed or anything because he's not able to cash it or whatever now.
And this is the check that you handed to me?
Yes.
Okay.
The check that I...
Do you know what check number that was that they gave me?
It starts with a 9, I believe. Or
Okay, so
something.
you said you have the bank statements. Normally, if you look at the bank statements, it'll tell you what check number they wrote out. Is there a way for you to get into that?
Well, the bank statement is going to give you the bank statements that's already been released.
you-
You
if
mean the
it's-
account itself? Like
So
the-
when you purchase a buyer's check, it tells you the check number that they're issuing.
But no, so it's not. It's a business account. So what they do is it's a draft check. They print us the check. They print
It'll
us the
still show you
check.
the bank check number.
I don't know.
And all of this is coming from your account?
It's his account. It's Joe's.
Are you on his account at all?
Like, are you like an authorized user? Are you able to access the funds from
Yeah,
his
I'm in the
account?
business. Yeah, I'm in the business part of the business account. Yes,
Okay.
but he's the main signer on the account. I'm just an authorized person on the account.
Okay. And each one of these checks you physically got from the bank?
No, only one of them. The first two we use our system to print our draft checks out.
What's
QuickBooks, which is what we use.
use QuickBooks? Okay.
Yes.
Let me see that account. That check.
He's gonna have to open the account. I can't. So it's probably impossible. No, sorry.
So have you at any point contacted the bank directly? Did you ever think to contact your actual bank regarding the reason why the checks aren't going through? Have you contacted them at any
This
point?
morning, that's when I found out about it returning today. That's when I reached out to them. I asked them about why the check didn't, why the check didn't clear or whatever is going on, because they had told me that it didn't clear because of sufficient funds.
Okay.
So I asked them, do you have other deposits? We had other deposits coming into the account, so I asked
Okay.
them, and so that's when they told me, the funds would be in the account within 24 to 48 hours or something like that. So to tell them that if they wanted the funds in cash, if you wanted cash, I would have to bring it to them tomorrow. I could give them some funds today and then the remaining tomorrow.
So the check was
Or I could give them-
written. The check was written prior to funds being available.
Correct. The first check, yes,
Okay.
and they were aware of that.
And this is from the influx of money. That's from the business side of it.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. And
But as of right now, as of what I knew today was, hey, the check didn't clear. There was not funds or something. We couldn't verify it. Either bring us the funds or, we'll take you to the bank to get the check, to get another check. So that's what they decided. He drove me to the bank. I went to the bank. That was that. I gave him the option of giving him, some cash today and the remaining of it in the morning. And there was a lot of back and forth. Some people were saying yes, other people were saying no. He told me you're good. Then he said, you're not good. So I really don't. And before you guys got here, we were about to sign something. He told me that he had given it to his accounting team or something, and he had already called and verified something.
so at the bank, when you physically went there to get the check, they never gave you an issue when it came to getting the check or obtaining it with, being now you finding out that there was no availability of funds. They never gave you an issue with that?
No, because I had pending deposits that were coming into the account. That's why they said, within 24 to 48 hours. And I asked them, and they said, no, we deposited. It takes a couple of days to clear.
And which bank did you physically go in person to?
The one today or the one?
The one today. Which one did you go in person to?
They're the ones that took me, so.
Is it the credit union right down the street over here?
No, it's First Horizon. So they're not near here. They're about 20 minutes out from here.
So they took you to a First Verizon location?
Yes, they took
Okay.
me. They themselves took me in the blue BMW. The guy drove me there.
Okay.
Is that your son?
Oh,
That's your son.
yes.
Have you ever been arrested before?
Huh?
You ever been
When I
arrested?
was, I turned myself in one time before.
For what?
In Port Charlotte.
I mean, they're going to tell me.
Yeah, of course. No, it's it's insurance fraud.
Fraud.
And it was a job that we did in Port Charlotte. It's currently outstanding. It's an issue with the dispute between me and the customer as far as the work that was done and whatever not.
What type of work is it?
We do water damage, mold, and construction. So as of the So right now, I have a court date next month, and it is my understanding that the case is going to get dismissed because I provided them with all documentation of the work that we did do.
What was your first name?
Gertie.
Gertie?
Gertie.
Gertie. I'm sorry, I think talking in my ear at this
No, no, you're fine.
Gertie.
That's fine.
Listen. You have a son.
Yes.
I have 4 children.
Yes.
I've been doing this 23 years.
Okay.
Okay? You can see the other guy that's standing there. We don't even do this. We just happen to be in there to help out.
Okay.
Right? You being truthful is going to go a long way because they're going to pull everything.
Yeah.
They already have everything. Everything we have right now is showing fraudulent activity.
Okay.
Right? So we have choices of what to do. Right? DCF can get involved. All these other problems because you have a child that's here.
Okay.
My suggestion would be to be truthful and honest, exactly what you were doing, and we can determine what leniency we have if we're going to charge you. Does that make sense?
I understand.
Okay. Right now, you're in a bad spot. Your boyfriend or fiance, or I don't know if you guys are
It's
married.
a child's father.
Child's father. Both in a bad spot, and you got a child here. I have 4 children.
Okay.
One is young, he's a little older than him, and one probably almost your age. Okay. Let's start over. What was the deal?
Honestly,
What was the deal?
we provided them a check
Okay.
for them to.
Did you know that the funds weren't available in the check?
No, the account is not under my. It's not under my name. So it's his account. We have funds. We have
It's
funds
his
pending.
account.
Yes, his
So the
account.
account was under his name,
Correct. And there's
and you knew that the funds weren't available.
So
under
we had-
his name.
when we originally turned in the check to them on Saturday. We knew the funds weren't available. They told me they were going to have to check.
Now for the grades. The investigating officer receives a B+. Miranda was properly administered, all 4 rights in sequence confirmed. The interview technique drew critical admissions without coercion. The decision to release the male associate while arresting the primary check writer showed proportional judgment. One note, advising a subject that cooperation will go a long way approaches language courts have scrutinized under Colorado v. Spring 1987. A Miranda waiver must be knowing, voluntary, and intelligent based on the totality of circumstances. Implying leniency during or after advisement can complicate voluntariness. Best practice is to allow the advisement to stand on its own. The subject receives a C+. She came back voluntarily. She did not flee or resist. That will matter at sentencing. However, she had an active outstanding fraud matter in another county, and she waived her right to counsel before discussing a new criminal investigation. Then she provided on the record the exact admission prosecutors needed. Under Florida Statute 832.05, knowledge at the time of issuance is the element that separates a civil check dispute from a felony charge. She confirmed she knew funds were unavailable when the first check was written. That statement is now the prosecution's centerpiece. There is a constitutional right to remain silent. Post-Miranda silence cannot be used against a defendant established in Doyle v. Ohio 1976, invoking the right to counsel after Miranda stops all questioning immediately. Neither option was exercised here. The dealership receives an A-. Law enforcement notification was timely and appropriate. Cooperation throughout was complete. One deduction: the vehicle had already been released to the buyers before the down payment was confirmed cleared. That decision created the loss exposure that required this investigation.
Available. They told me they were going to hold the check for a couple of days. I asked them, can I pay you with a business check? And they told me, hey, the funds are going to, the check's going to be deposited on Monday.
Okay.
Or something like that.
And you brought another check.
And so, yeah, then they called me and said, bring me another check.
Was that check? Was the funds available?
Huh?
Was the funds available?
When I brought in that check, yes. The
So they
funds were-
cashed that check.
Yeah, that's the check that we're supposed to cash, and then they called me today and they said that they couldn't cash it because it couldn't recognize it or something like that, and that's when they said, go to the bank. The check was like, there was soda spilled on it or something, and said,
So they couldn't recognize the numbers on it? Is that what they're...
that's what they're saying on their end, that it said. I don't know how true that is. When I called the bank told me that the check was never even attempted to be ran through. So that's when they said.
So where did you get the second check from?
Huh?
Where did you get that second check from?
From the bank. So the first check, we print our checks. We use QuickBooks to print our check from our business account. And we have multiple accounts. We have First Horizon, we have Sophie, we have multiple accounts. So we use QuickBooks. Whenever we're going to pay a vendor, we print out the check. So that's where that came from. I gave them the option today. Like I said, because they were like, we're not going to, let's avoid the whole check thing, because obviously it takes them a few days for them to know the check cleared or whatever not. He said, I can bring you some cash. You know, what do you want to do? Do you want me to bring you some cash? And, you know, bring some cash today and the remaining tomorrow when the rest of the funds clear? Or what do you want to do? And he was like, oh, you know, the tall gentleman, he said, it's cool, yeah, I'm good with, you know, with doing that. That's what he said originally. So I said, okay, let's do that. Then he came back to me and he said, no, I think we're good. I think you're fine. Don't leave. That's when I was about to leave. He said, I think you're fine. Don't leave. Let me go talk to the GM, the general manager that's there. So he went there and then he sat right here at this desk with me and said, hey, you know, this is the situation. You know, I'm out of $9,500 right now because the check hasn't cleared. What, you know, how do you want to handle it? He's like, I can hold the vehicle for 24 hours, you know, till tomorrow, till you guys get the funds, you can bring it to me. Or, he says, or I can send you to the bank with, you know, I can send you with this person to the bank and you can go to the bank and whatever and try to get, you know, get another check. And so then
I'm gonna go talk to them and see what they say. Are you on probation or parole?
No.
Yeah.
And so then that's what I did. And so the last thing that was said was like, hey, have Joe come here to try to, you know, sign everything. We're missing the buyer's order and everything like that. I even said to him, do you want me to bring the vehicle? What do you want me to do? He said, no, don't worry about the vehicle. He's like, you just need to sign the buyer's order and then you're good to go, you're done.
Okay.
And then you guys just, boom, happen to show in.
Okay.
I mean, I was sitting there even playing around, like, I'm not trying to take anybody's money. I want the car, you know, I want to drive the car. The car is at my house. Like, I'm not trying to steal the car from them.
We're not throwing those words now. So my thing is, and what something that is confusing me is, so you told me that you're an authorized accessor of the account for the business, correct?
Correct.
So, but yet, so what is that access entail? Like, are you just able to get in and see, hey, this is how much money's here, or like, did you not previously look into it prior to doing this, or you kind of were just taking his father's word for it?
No, we had pending deposits coming into the bank account, so I could see the bank account and the balance that's on the bank account and whatever not. I mean, there's only certain things that I could do that I'm accessible to do. That's why. I mean, everything is connected to QuickBooks. That's how we print our checks. It uses a system called online check. It verifies the account and everything. I mean, it's his account. It's our account. It's not like some random person's account. It's not. Yeah. It's our bank account.
Okay. Just to go over again, so the first two checks that were brought in were printed from QuickBooks, as you guys typically do. Mm-hmm. So obviously one for $7,000 because you had the two balances, because then they raised the balance, one for $7,000, one for $9,500. Which point you gave the $9,500, and then that one was, they said that, you know, the bank stated that, hey, the money's not available, we can hold the car, whatever. You try to bring another check.
Well, this was today. I said.
Well, yeah, today. Yeah. So the two checks brought in today, one for $7,000, one for $9,500. You gave them the $9,500. It didn't go through because it said the funds.
They don't know. It's basically when I brought them the $9,500. Today, like that I bought it, he told me it cleared. He said it was fine. He said, on our end it's fine, but we won't know. You know, we still have to run it through the bank. It's already after hours. That is what he said to me.
Okay. Right. And the bank, is the First Horizon Bank. That's his private bank for where the money's from.
It's his main account.
Okay. All right. And then you were doing the lender through American Credit Acceptance?
Correct, yes.
Okay. All right. And then you went to a First Horizon location because you're like, hey, you know,
I want to verify
we can either hold the car or you can go print on a check. We'll take you. You went with an actual employee. You went to the bank. And then you printed. You were able to. Did you have to go to a vendor like up front to get a check, or how did that work when you went to go get it? Like when you go to the bank, did you have to speak to somebody in order to get the check, or how did that work?
Yeah, so I went to the bank to verify the funds, that the funds were going to clear, to verify that they were going to, you know.
And they told you no funds will be available, and they should be fine.
Within 24 hours, the funds are going to.
Was the employee with you at the time?
He stayed in the car.
Okay. Because I was going to see if the employee can, not saying that you're not telling me the truth, but the employee was there to be like, hey.
He walked in to say, hey, I'm going to go to McDonald's real quick, and I was sitting down with the banker, and then he went back to the car.
Okay, and then the banker was like, yeah, no, the fund should be good with the transaction.
And then I gave them that option. I said, they said I could either replace the check, you guys could deposit it, the funds are going to be there, or I can bring you the money that I have now, which is that I can gather around $4,500. I can bring that to you now, and then I can bring you the other $5,000 in the morning.
Okay. Have you ever had issues previously regarding the checks? Have you ever had any issues when it comes, not just for like a transaction like this, but like in general with the checks? Have any that's, as when it comes to First Horizon, you ever had issues when it comes to checks and being like, oh, they said it's fine, but then I'm being told otherwise that it's not fine? You know what I'm saying? Has it ever
First Horizon? I mean, if he's the person, by the way, he's the person that
Okay.
I mean, I've had an issue before where I've deposited a payment, it clears the next day, and it bounces on me. Yes, it bounces and the funds aren't there, and then I have to make sure the funds are there. Yes, that's typical of doing business. A customer will give me a payment, and the payment might return or something like that. But I always make sure that
that it goes through.
Yeah, that it goes through, and that I add the funds there. That I make the funds there wherever I if I have to borrow from somebody to make sure the funds are presently there in order
For the time being until it goes through. Okay.
Exactly. I mean, this whole situation, I also didn't know because they notify. I bring the payment. They said they're good. They ran it through the system. Their system is fine, and then they'll.
The dealership system is fine, but
and
the
then
bank.
They'll call me 4 days later, and then be like, "Hey, it's not fine no more. You got to bring us another payment."
Okay.
In the morning, the mayor, the gentleman, he told me to bring cash. And I said, cool. I said, no problem. I came here. I physically gave I came here physically, showed my face. Like, this is me trying to figure this out with you. Like, I'm not running away. I'm not trying to steal your car. And I'm not doing any of those things.
Yeah.
Right? I'm here.
Okay.
I'm showing my face to you, trying to figure it out.
Okay. What kind of car did you purchase?
A Jeep. That Jeep Gladiator.
Jeep Gladiator.
She's up here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, thank you. I'll call you back later, okay?
You got nothing on him.
Yes.
Working backwards, like I said.
Yes. That's what he just said.
Chad and I agreed to let him go with this kid. Take her now because.
Correct. That's what me and Andy just had a whole conversation on. Because he's like, yeah, we can talk to him. He's willing to tell us. I got her since we know she gave it. So I'm going to get her for the other end and then we'll grab that. But here's the issue. I'm missing. We can talk to him about.
You just wanted to do it. You just turned yourself in for insurance fraud.
We need to see if they can transfer the cars because now we have to make it 10.
Fucking let somebody walk away and go in the fucking bathroom.
We figure out where it is or so we have to put the
I don't
car
care
in
if it's
the
male or
10.
female. You don't got to fucking go to where we talk to her.
So if somebody wants to do that, I'm going to grab all the 42 from the business from her.
Let me find. Stand by with her.
Yeah. Chung's inside there with her.
No, I know. Stand by just in case something happens and we got to run in there.
Okay.
So is this Jesus?
I guess. I don't know.
Oh, you're the climber.
I'm sorry, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Joe is not getting arrested?
At this point, or from what my knowledge, no.
So he's going to be able to take our son home?
Yes.
Okay. Would you be able to tell me what I'm being arrested with?
As of right now, it's going to be for fraud.
For what kind of fraud?
Fraud as of right, so felony fraud because of the $9,500.
For the check that I brought in today?
Okay. Okay.
From your knowledge, is there something? Is this something that I can bail and out of and go home, or?
I don't know because of certain fraud things. I don't want to give you any false information. Okay?
The key lesson from this footage is pre-arrest custodial questioning. The moment a person is not free to leave, they are in custody for Miranda purposes established in Berkmer versus McCarty 1984. Once in custody and before interrogation advisement is mandatory. The officer handled this correctly. The subject's response to it was the turning point. Voluntary statements made before Miranda cannot be suppressed. Voluntary statements made after a valid waiver are fully admissible. The subject was read her rights. She agreed to talk. Everything she said after that point, including the admission about funds, goes to the jury. The practical lesson when facing a potential criminal investigation, even one you believe, is a misunderstanding. The right to counsel exists for exactly this situation. Requesting an attorney stops questioning immediately. That option was available here and was not used. She was charged with fraud in connection with the $9,500 down payment. Under Florida law, a worthless check conviction carries up to 5 years per count. Additional exposure on forgery and communications fraud remains possible depending on how prosecutors frame the totality of the scheme. The male associate was not arrested. Officers determined insufficient evidence connected him directly to the check issuance. The vehicle was already at their residence. At the time of this analysis, the case is pending. What do you think the sentence should be? Drop it in the comments. If you want more body cam footage, the moments where people hand investigators exactly what they need and don't realize it until it's too late, hit subscribe. We post every week. Drop a comment should the male associate have been charged too. We'll see you in the next one.
Okay.